What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman back at it again with another video. And I did this kind of video after last season. I really enjoyed making it, and I'm sure you guys enjoyed watching it and reliving the moments with me as well. So I decided to do it again this year. Before we get into the highs and lows, you guys know the drill around here. Mott's applesauce, if you're ever hungry, thirsty, whatever it might be, Mott's applesauce will satisfy whatever satisfying you says here with the Caveman guarantee. I promise it will never fail ya. We went through one hell of a roller coaster ride this year, so you better buckle in to prepare yourself. Alright, so I sectioned off these moments into categories, then I have a moment for the offense, and then a moment for the defense. And the first category we are going to start with is the "Are you kidding me" moments. The moments that just left your jaw on the floor, whether it was a good thing or a bad thing. Alright, so the offensive "Are you kidding me" moment of the year. There were so many things that could have fit all these categories. It was honestly hard to make them, but anyway, it was against the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 1. First time we have fans fully packed back in Orchard Park, and Isaiah McKenzie does this.
But the players have to channel it the right way.
NFL kickoff weekend. We are underway. Return. McKenzie. Still going. Finally brought down inside the 25.
Now, I'm not sure if you were watching it at home on your own television, how exciting it actually was. I'm sure it was crazy. But for me personally at the game, I mean, for the first time having fans back, and you know, we're all so excited to see the game, and you know, the Bills are playing. We're just so high energy in there. And then to see McKenzie just damn near take that thing to the crib. He was coming right at us because we were at the end zone he was running towards. It was so exhilarating. Like, I could feel it still in my body. That was amazing. For the "Are you kidding me" moment for the defense, this was not a good thing like the Isaiah McKenzie kickoff was, but it certainly left me saying, Are you serious? Are you kidding me? This is actually happening again. It was during that rough stretch of the season where we got destroyed by the Colts by Jonathan Taylor, and then the Patriots beat us on our own home field by Mac Jones only throwing 3 passes, and then we were traveling to Tampa Bay to take on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then this happened.
Johnson. And it's Fournette. Look at Fournette. Go. Hides. The only guy that can stop him, but does not. Shoves him into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
When Fournette broke that, I was like, oh my God. Oh my, we're doing this again. Are you kidding me? I mean, we just watched Jonathan Taylor run all over us. We just watched Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, and Brandon Bolden run all over us in prime time. I was like, when are we going to figure it out? Granted, after that, we really seemed to stymie Leonard Fournette and that run game. That was the most room he had to work with the entire game. And we know how that game ended. I think that was a pivotal point in our season where we really turned it around and said, okay, it's time to get our heads out of our ass. But that Leonard Fournette run, it really drove me nuts. All right, so the next category is the relieving moments of the 2021-2022 Buffalo Bills season. And the offensive moment is actually a tie between 2 different Gabe Davis plays. The first moment came in week 8 against the Miami Dolphins. We were tied 3-3. Late in the third quarter. I don't know how in God's name that was even happening, how we could not score on that stupid team, but we were tied. And Gabe Davis had a go-ahead touchdown that really let us breathe a sigh of relief.
Moss, the running back. Allen stands in there. Crowd wants a face mask. They'll get it, but they'll also get a touchdown.
That touchdown led to an explosion of points in the fourth quarter. We were able to walk away with the victory, but it just felt, it was just so relieving to finally have the lead. I mean, I don't even know how the game was close. It was such a bad game, but it really was a relieving moment just for some wrong reasons, man. The other relieving moment that is tied for the offensive relieving moment of the season, going back to the Bucs game, it was on the drive where we went down the field and tied it with a field goal. It was like a 4th and 3, and Gabe Davis did this.
Let's go ahead and do it.
Bills have got to have it. Here's Allen's pass. Caught. Davis fighting for the yardage. What an effort by Gabriel Davis.
You could describe that moment in a number of different ways, but it certainly was relieving to be able to get that first down and go down and tie the game to give us that last hope. I really did think we were going to win that game after we roared back the way we did. Unfortunately, that was not the case, but my point still stands. That play, it was tremendously huge, and it had us breathing a sigh of relief. But for the defensive relieving moment of the season, this one was somewhat hard to narrow down, but I came to the conclusion that it happened against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Probably the most embarrassing game of the season, but nonetheless, Matthew Wright had 3 straight shots to make a field goal from like 45 yards out, and he missed every single one of them.
Wright's kick is no good.
Window.
And the same result.
I couldn't find him missing all 3 straight, but he did miss those 2 that you saw. Although we still lost, it didn't really ultimately end up mattering. But at the time, it was relieving to know that we weren't going to be down 9-6 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But like I said, we know what happened. All right, let's move into the next category, being the most frustrating moments. And my good golly, were there a ton of these. It was really tough to just narrow it down to 2, but I was able to do so, and these 2 moments really made me want to rip my hair out. The most frustrating offensive moment came in the Jacksonville Jaguars game. How surprising is that? But this one particular play really encapsulated how that game went, and it made me want to crawl into a deep, dark hole, never to see the light of day again.
In every snap. 3rd and 7. Here comes the pressure. Allen is in trouble.
He didn't move. I mean, how are you that late to the snap? What was he doing? What was he thinking in that moment? Oh my God, the offensive line this year, man. It got better, but dear Lord, it was bad. It was at rock bottom. All right, so that's enough of that before I lose my shit, but I'm about to get frustrated all over again because we still have the defensive most frustrating moment of the season. And this one came against the New England Patriots, the first time we played them on Monday Night Football.
Good to see Damian Harris back in there for New England, and he's limping again.
So that game in particular, I also was already up to here. Like, my patience with the defense was just, it was gone. I mean, watching Mac Jones do nothing and having them run the ball time and time again and still moving down the field, it drove me nuts. And then Damian Harris, who pulled his hamstring, comes back in the game to test it early in the second half, and the dude's running on one leg and still gained 16 yards. I was ready to lose it. The dude was physically hobbling. He was limping toward the sideline halfway through the run because he couldn't run anymore, because he hurt himself, and yet he still was barely touched. I mean, I don't know how that happened. There were so many different plays that, so many guys missed tackles. They were breaking tackles. I could have picked any run in this game. I remember that moment specifically. It just really set me over the edge. All right, so next we got the grown man moments from this past season. The offensive grown man moment came against the New England Patriots when we played them the second time, courtesy of Devin Singletary.
For 79.
Yeah, Deion Dawkins came off the COVID list, but not 100%. No practice time this week. Dump off to Singletary. And carries a defender with him. Singletary, excellent effort.
When I watched that play, I was in absolute awe. Devin Singletary caught a flat. He caught it at the line of scrimmage and carried like 2 guys on his back. He carried Kyle Duggar, who's like 6'3", 260 on his back. He also trucked over Matt Judon at the same time and got the first down. I've always liked Devin Singletary more than Zach Moss. I've always been a supporter of his even before the season began, but that even shocked me. That was an impressive display of strength that I did not expect from a kid that's, 5 foot 8 inches. I mean, that was ridiculous. Now, for the defensive grown man moment, this was a moment that I felt like did not get enough love, and it came against the Tennessee Titans when Derrick Henry had his field day. He broke a run up the middle, and he entered the second and going into the third level where the safeties were at, and Micah Hyde did something that I don't think any single one of us would ever consider doing.
Here's Henry, who saw that gap open up. And who wants to make a business decision?
The offensive coordinator, if you're going to come up the field with your defensive end and put the beater.
What Micah Hyde just did in that clip you watched, that was the equivalent of stepping in front of a fast-moving train that was going downhill. That was pretty much what he did. Granted, he didn't pull him down to the ground and make the tackle by himself, but he certainly got in his way, and he slowed him down. He probably saved the touchdown. So Micah Hyde, that was an insane display of just courage and strength that I was very, very impressed to see from one of our top 2 safeties. We are now just going to get into the worst moments of the season. This is going to be where we swallow the tough pill. The offensive worst moment of the 2021 season 100% was when Josh Allen slipped on the 4th and 1 sneak in that same Tennessee Titans game we were just talking about. That shit hurt horribly at the time. And, you know, even looking back at it now, it meant so much to gain that yard. I mean, we go and score in that drive. We're the #1 seed in the AFC, and who knows how our path plays out to the Super Bowl. We've been hating the Titans so much as of late. We wanted to beat them so freaking bad. They tried that Music City Miracle type bullshit early in the game on the kickoff, and then Isaiah McKenzie had a kickoff return to the house that was called back on a hold. We wanted that so bad. Oh, wow, that one was painful. But I don't think it gets any more painful than the worst defensive moment of the season. I think we can all put together what that might be. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to show anything, but 13 is the key number here. We're not going to talk about it, but yeah, that... Oh, wow. But we're going to stay lighthearted here. Forget the worst moments. Let's talk about the best moments of the year. All right, the best offensive moment of the 2021-2022 NFL season was 100% Gabe Davis catching the go-ahead touchdown against the Kansas City Chiefs in that same exact game.
8 seconds. Down the middle to the end zone, and there it is!
I was at that game. I've never been happier. I was jumping for joy. I was so shocked, so surprised, but so happy and so overwhelmed. I mean, the amount of emotions that trailed into my bloodstream all at once, it's incomprehensible. I cannot describe it, and I'm sure all of us Bills fans know exactly what I'm talking about, so I don't have to describe it. But that go-ahead touchdown, any of those Gabe Davis touchdowns were so big. But that one in particular, just that go-ahead touchdown after what Tyreek Hill did, we thought we had it. And it was such a rush of happiness and excitement that I really wish I could relive, because that was unbelievable. And for the best defensive moment, this one is, I think it's one of the best defensive moments of the season for any team. I think it was one of the most remarkable plays I had ever seen. And that was Micah Hyde diving to pick off Mac Jones in the wild card round against the New England Patriots.
Had just 129 yards rushing this season. Jones, pump, rifle downfield, intercepted!
That play would have been impressive if he was a receiver, but he's a defensive player, he's a safety, and he went over his shoulder diving at full speed after he tracked, like, what, 10, 15 yards across the field to get there. That was ridiculous what he did. That was easily, I think, a top defensive moment of the season for any team. Like I said, that was an unbelievable play. But either way, I hope you enjoyed reliving the moments of the 2021 Bills season with the Caveman. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. If you want to hit the bell to be notified when I upload, I'd appreciate that. You want to go over to Twitter, follow me over there, I'd appreciate that as well. I have a TikTok down in the description that I think you should check out, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.